नाशनम् चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुर नमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विवस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं सर्वदेवात्मको शेषः तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एष देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पाति गभस्तिभिः एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्दः प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदः कालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्बतिः पितरो वसवः साध्याः यश्विनो मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वह्निः प्रजाप्राणः ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः आदित्यः सविता सूर्यः खगः पूषा गभस्तिमान् सुवर्णसदृशो भानुः हिरण्यऋतु दिवाकरः हरिरश्वः सहस्रार्चिः सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मथनः शम्भुः त्वष्टा मार्तण्ड अंशुमान् हिरण्यगर्भः शिशिरः तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भोदितेः पुत्रः शङ्खः शिशिरनाशनः व्योमनाथस्तनो भीति ऋक्यजुस्सामपारगः घनवृष्टिरपां मित्रो विन्ध्यवीथिप्लवङ्गमः आतपी मण्डली मृत्युः पिङ्गलः सर्वतापनः कविर्विश्वो महातेजाः रक्तः सर्वभवोद्भवः नक्षत्रग्रहताराणाम् अधिपो विश्वभावनः तेजसामपि तेजस्वी द्वादशात्मन्नमोऽस्तु ते नमः पूर्वाय गिरये पश्चिमायाद्रये नमः ज्योतिर्गणानां पतये दिनाधिपतये नमः जयाय जयभद्राय हर्यश्वाय नमो नमः नमो नमः सहस्रांशु आदित्याय नमो नमः नमो उग्राय वीराय सारंगाय नमो नमः नमः पद्मप्रबोधाय मार्ताण्डाय नमो नमः ब्रह्मेशानाच्युतेशाय सूर्यायादित्यवर्चसे भास्वते सर्वभक्षाय रौद्राय वपुषे नमः तमोघ्नाय हिमघ्नाय शत्रुघ्नाय मितात्मने कृतघ्नघ्नाय देवाय ज्योतिषां पतये नमः तप्तचामीकराभाय वह्नये विश्वकर्मणे नमस्तमोहिनिघ्नाय रुचये लोकसाक्षिणे नाशयत्येष वैभूतं तदेव सृजति प्रभुः पायत्येष तपत्येष वर्षत्येष गभस्तिभिः एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति भूतेषु परिनिष्ठितः एष एवाग्निहोत्रं च फलं चैवाग्निहोतॄणां वेदाश्च क्रतवश्चैव क्रतूनां फलमेव च यानि कृत्यानि लोकेषु सर्वेश रविः प्रभुः येनमापत्सु कृच्छ्रेषु कान्तारेषु भयेषु च कीर्तयन् पुरुषः कश्चिन् स्वैरमेकाग्रः देवदेवं जगत्पतिम् एकत्रिगुणितं जप्त्वा युद्धेषु विजयिष्यसि अस्मिन् क्षणे महाबाहो रावणं तं वधिष्यसि एवमुक्त्वा तदागस्त्यो जगाम च यथागतम् एतत् श्रुत्वा महातेजाः नष्टशोको भवत्तदा धारयामास सुप्रीतः राघवः प्रयतात्मवान् आदित्यं प्रेक्ष्य जप्त्वा तु परं हर्षमवाप्तवान् त्रिराजं यशुचिर्भूत्वा धनुरादाय वीर्यवान् रावणं प्रेक्ष्य हृष्टात्मा युद्धाय समुपागमत् सर्वयत्नेन महता वधितस्य धृतोऽभवत् अथ रविरवदन् निरीक्ष्य रामम् मुदितमनाः परमं प्रहृष्यमाणः निशिचरपतिसंक्षयं विदित्वा सुरगणमध्ये गतो वचस्वरूप.
Thank you, Shri Prada.
धन्यवादः.
Namaste. Can rest of you all mute, please? Yeah. Shri Prada, thank you so much. I know you have to get to your yoga class, and please do come every day, and we'll start with your chanting. Everyone, I'm sure, have enjoyed and will be enjoying. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay? Can you all hear me okay? Aditya Hrudayam, Aditya Hrudayam. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighram Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheswara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So let this be interactive to some extent and informal to some extent and non-intimidating. The whole idea is to make you aware of this great stotra. Stotra is stuyantam trayate. When you chant, it will protect. So chanting, mere chanting, the tape recorders also do. But knowing the meaning and chanting, the vibrations created within and without will influence us and inspire us. So bhavana, chanting with bhavana. That only happens when we know the meaning, And this, we all have to be thankful to Guru Galu for asking us to chant this, know this, and understand this. It is so interesting that when I learned Bhagavad Gita in Michigan with Shista Kameshwar Rao Garu, every Sunday before Bhagavad Gita class, we chanted Aaditya Hrudayam. And the very first meeting with Guru Galu, he said, there are only two things in life one has to know. One is Bhagavad Gita, and second is Aaditya Hrudayam. Both of them, if you look at, have been taught not in the cave, not in a building, not in an ashram, not under the tree, but right in the warfield, right in the warfield. That is to say that we need this Bhagavad Gita, Aaditya Hrudayam, not when we retire, but it is certainly rejuvenating when we are tired. So it sure is helpful when we are retired as well, but it rejuvenates us when we are tired. It gives us a strength to get into the world, to get out of the threshold of our house to the office, to deal with the people, to deal with the world, to deal with the plurality and the vanity, not undergoing any modifications which would affect our mind and actions. This Aaditya Hrudayam helps. So today, we shall try to cover about 6 or 7 verses. There are about 31 verses if we include the Dhyana Shloka, it will be 32 verses. So we should aim for 7 verses every day, 7 verses every day. So this is a Saptaha, as Shivaranjaniji has suggested. Saptaha, Sapta, Aha. Sapta is 7. Aha means days. So the one which is carried on for 7 days is Saptaha. So we started yesterday, Sunday. So the day dedicated for the sun, but Sunday is the beginning of the 7 days. That's why it's called Adi Vasara. Adi is the beginning. Adi Vasara belongs to Aditya also. And today is Somavasara. Sudha, Sudhi is there, I can see him. So Aditya and then Sudha. So Sudhi, Sudhakara. Somavasara, then Mangala, Buddha, Guru, Sukra, Shani, according to the planets. We'll talk a little bit more about them when the time comes. It is also called Ravi Vasara, and it's also called Bhanu Vasara. So we started yesterday, and we shall continue learning this Aditya Stotram for next 4 days after today. And the last day, we will invite Guru Gulu Sri Ramji again to bless us. Yesterday, it was so enchanting to see so many, and it was so Karnapeya, so it's like nectarine to the ears listening to Meenakshi ji and the young kids, and today's Sri Prada chanting. Aditya Hrudayam. Aditya means sun. So the meaning, I shall be going over the etymological aspect of the names. And there is some Puranic or historical aspects which we'll be touching upon. But more goes into the spiritual aspect, the true meaning of it, behind which this energy of Shabda. So Shabda Mahatmya is there. Shabda Artha. So Shabda Artha, Vagathaviva Sampruktau, Vagatha Pratipattaye, Jagata Pitarau Vande, Parvati Parameswarau. Vak and Artha, the Shabda and Artha, and then Mantra and Bhavana. So Aditya means, Aditi Putra is one meaning. Aditi and Kasyapa Putra. Aditi Mata is Deva Mata. Diti means Khandam, Dvaitam. Aditi means Advaitam. Aditi means there is no division. And Aditi is the Moola Devata. Aditi Putra, Aditya, that is one meaning. Then Adau Sthaha, the one who was there in the beginning, is Aditya. Adau in the beginning. Aham agre asam. So Adau sthaha, Adau asit, Adau in the beginning. That is second meaning. Then Hrudayam, Hrudayam. Hrudayam is the heart. The heart means not the anatomical or physiological heart we talk about. The heart, the core, the essence of this Aditya. So the energy within Aditya. Aditya gatam tejaha. Yada Aditya gatam tejo jagadbhasiyate khilam. Yachandramasi yachagnau tattejo vidhimamakam. So while going through this stotra, we will be going through three aspects. The three aspects are, one is that Parabrahma Swarupa, who is in the form of Aditya, who is in Aditya. I shall repeat, that Paramatma, that Parabrahma Swarupa, who is in the form of Aditya and who is in Aditya. The second aspect, the Surya Mandala Antargata Aditya. The sun god who is in the solar orb. So I have given some work some time ago to Sudhi and Aditya to talk to us about the scientific aspects of the solar orb. So in these 5 days, let's see if they can contribute something. So the solar orb, the sun god, the physically shining sun god. And thirdly, that Aditya, Jyotishamapi Tajyotihi, who is within us, who is within us. Antarjyotihi. So that Ishvara, who is in everybody's Hrudi, Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishtaha. You may be all wondering, is it Bhagavad Gita class or Aditya Hrudayam class? I'll tell you a small joke. There's a young boy. He goes home for summer vacation. And after coming back, he has to write an essay. And all he did was prepare for an essay on cow. So now there is an exam to write on train. So this boy is so clever, you see. So he says, I went to my village by train. And then there was a cow. There's a cow in our house. And then it gave birth to a calf. And then he wrote an entire page about cow. And that's how, so my summer vacation ended and I came back by train again. So now don't think that, now Aditya Hrudayam and I'm going into Bhagavad Gita, but you cannot teach any spiritual text without touching upon Bhagavad Gita. And more so, this Aditya Hrudayam. So Hrudayam, Hrit, Harati, Dadati. It actually, if you see through the veins, it receives the blood. And through the arteries, it gives the blood, purified blood to all the organs. So that is Hrudayam. So Hrudayam here means essence. Hridi ayam. So this ayam Adityaha Hridihi Sannivishtaha. So this Aditya is within us. That Sarva Chaitanya Rupam Tam Adyam Vidyam Cha Dhimahi Buddhim Yana Prachodayat. That Sarva Chaitanya Rupa, who is Adya, who is Vidya, that Shakti, Parashakti, Paramasakti, that Paramatma Shakti, may it propel us. So that is Aditya Hrudayam. Stotram I talked about. And if you look at Gayatri mantra artha, Vishesham is Aditya Hrudayam. Gayatri, Savitri, Savita. So all these names we will see Savita. Savita is another name for sun god. So you see in Gayatri mantra, Savituhu, Savituhu Varenyam. So Savituhu. So Gayatri mantra is about Surya Shakti. Surya Shakti. So with that introduction, we shall do the first verse. I'm not sure whether you're doing Dhyana Shloka, Shilpaji? No? Okay. So can you project that? Then I shall explain the Dhyana Shloka, then we go into the details of the text.
Just a second, Dr. Ji.
Okay, while you do that, so let me just pray to two most important personalities. So one is Ramachandra. Ramaya Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya Vedhase, Raghunathaya Nathaya, Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Name, then Agastya Mahamuni. Om Namo Bhagavate Agasthyaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Agastya Munaye. Then Valmiki Maharshi. Because this Aaditya Hrudayam is in the text Srimad Ramayana, Yuddha Kanda. Some books may have 105th Sarga, and some others has 107th Sarga. So 105 or 107, you can find it. Valmikiramayana.net. If you see, you will find this Yuddha Kanda and Aaditya Hrudayam. So Dhyanam is Dhiyo Yanam. We set our mind. We tune our mind. Dhi means Buddhi. Yanam is the journey, the path we take. So we are now steering our mind to get into the mood to learn this Aaditya Hrudayam. Dhyanam. Namasavitre Jagadeka Chakshushe. So there is little correction needed, not Chakshuse, not this size Sangeeta Sa. So it should be Shanmukha Sha, not Shankara Sa. So Namasavitre Jagadeka Chakshushe, Jagat Prasuti Sthitinasa Hetave, Traye Mayaya Trigunatma Dharine, Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane. Namasavitre Namaha. I salute Namaha. We'll talk about Namaha later on in Aaditya Hrudayam, because we see Aditya Namakam in this stotram. So Namaha, salutations to Savitre. Savitre means Savita is the first case. Savitre is fourth case. So whenever you do Namaha, you do use fourth case in Sanskritam, like Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. So if you have to say for Ravi, Namah Ravaye. So in feminine, so if you say Shivaranjani, Namah Shivaranjanyai. So like that you say that. So Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe. So the Chakshu, the Netra, the one eye of this entire Vishwam, the universe, Jagat. Jagat is Jayate Gachate. Jagat. The one which is born and then ever moving. You see, Jagat never stops. Once it stops, it's Pralaya. So Jayate Gachate, Jagat Jagayamanam is Jagat. Chakshu is eye. So the eye of this universe. The eye. So Eka Chakshushe of Jagat. Namasavitre Jagadeka Chakshushe Jagat Prasuti Sthitinasa Hetave. Hetu is the cause of Prasuti. Prasuti, most of you might have heard, Prasuti is delivery. So I happen to be involved, so in Prasuti of this newborn baby, so almost every day when I work. So Jagat Prasuti. Prasuti is creation. Sthiti, Palana, sustenance. Nasa is dissolution. So Jagat Srishti Sthiti Layakaraka. Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasa Hetave. Hetuhu Hetave. Guruhu Gurave. Gurave Namaha we say. So Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasa Hetave. Trayi Mayaya. Trayi Maya. Trayi means Vedas. the three Vedas. Three Vedas are Ananta, Ananta Vai Vedaha. But it was divided by Veda Vyasa Maharshi into four. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda. Atharvana is the later part. Otherwise, there were initially Trayi, Rug Yajus Sama, Rug Yajus Sama. But Trayimaya means these Vedas talk about three things. That's why they are called Trayi. The three things are Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, and Adhidaivika. Adhidaivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. So Adhidaivam, that Paramatma Swarupa. Adibhutam, the solar sun god that we are seeing. And Adhyatma is that Jyoti within us. That Aditya within us. So it talks about three things. Trayi Mayaya, Trigunatma Dharine, Triguna Atma Dharine. Three gunas, 14th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. So Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So Sattva, Rajo, Tamo, Gunamayi. So Trigunmaya, Trigunatma Dharine. Triguna Atma Dharine. Dharine. So Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane. So Virinchi is Brahma. Virinchi. You might have heard in Telugu songs in Sirivennal, Virinchinai Venipinchadanu. So it's a Virachinchadanu, Virinchinai Virachinchadanu, it says. So Virinchi is Brahma. Narayana here is Vishnu. So Narayana. Narasya Ayanam. Nara means jivas. Nara means jnana, knowledge. Ayanam means abode. So the abode or the goal or the path of all the jivas is Narayana. And Shankara. Shamkaroti iti Shankara. Atmane. So the one who is the Trinity, the embodiment of all three, Brahmaji, Vishnu, and Shiva. So when I say Brahmaji is Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahman is that Paramatma Tattvam is Brahman. So Namas Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushi Jagat Prasuti Sthitinasa Hetave Traye Maya Trigunatma Dharine Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane. So that is Dhyana Shloka. Now let us do the very first shloka of Aditya Hrudaya Stotra.
Shall we recite, Dr. Raju?
Yes.
Tato yuddha parishrantam.
Does anyone want to repeat?
Tato yuddha parishrantam.
Samare chintaya sthitam.
Samare chintaya sthitam.
Ravanam jagrato društva.
Ravanam jagrato društva.
Yuddhaya samupasthitam.
Yuddhaya samupasthitam.
Tato yuddha parishrantam.
Tato yuddha parishrantam.
Samare chintaya sthitam.
Samare chintaya sthitam.
Ravanam jagrato društva.
Ravanam jagrato društva.
Yuddhaya samupasthitam.
Yuddhaya samupasthitam.
So now Valmiki Maharshi has put these mantras in very Sarala Sanskritam. Valmiki is Adikavi. Valmiki Maharshi is Adikavi. And in fact, Valmiki Maharshi inspired and influenced Vyasa Maharshi so much. You will see that influence even in this Aditya Hrudayam as well. So that Valmiki is like a kokila, nightingale. It is so beautiful, you see. I mean, especially when people who know the music and then with the musical tone, when you listen to this, it actually awakens your mind. And Valmiki, then he gets it because of tapas he did, and the Valmikam, which was grown around him. So Valmiki. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Sakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. I salute that nightingale, Valmiki nightingale, who sat on the branch of poetry, the beautiful lyrical poetic branch. And now that kokila is singing not kuhu kuhu, but Rama Rama, which is madhuram, nectarine, madhuraksharim, the words which are so nectarine. So that Valmiki, we salute and get into this stotra. Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam ravanam chagrato drustva yuddhaya samupasthitam. Now the scene is set. You see, now you can write the screenplay, and now if you have to picturize this yourself, the Rama Ravana Yuddha is going on there. And it is going on for 7 days. And Rama Ravana Yuddha is such a Yuddha that nothing is comparable to it. Nothing is comparable to it. Gaganam Gaganakaram. Sagara Sagaropamam Rama Ravanayor Yuddham Rama Ravanayoriva. Gaganam Gaganakaram. If you have to compare sky with anything else, you can compare only with sky. If you have to compare ocean with anything, so Swami Vivekananda says that, a tortoise comes from ocean to a nearby well, and then the frog there asks the tortoise, oh, where do you come from? I come from ocean. And oh, ocean, do you think it's bigger than my well? So that is how. So Gaganam Gaganakaram. Then in the same way, if you have to tell Rama Ravanayor Yuddham, Rama Ravanayoriva. So Mahabharata Yuddha, Hanuman there on the flag used to actually take little naps, it seems, in between when even Bhima and Arjuna were fighting. So used to that great Yuddha it was. And so that is happening. Yuddha Parishrantam Samare Chintaya Sthitam. So in that warfield, as Guru Galu mentioned yesterday, so Rama was little tired. So Rama is projected in Ramayana as a Manava only, human. How a human leads the life and becomes divine. So that is Rama. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. The embodiment of righteousness is Rama. In that Yuddha, so this Yuddha is symbolic here, as the Yuddha of Bharata Yuddha. In Mahabharatam also, Senayor Abhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapaya Mechyuta. The symbolism of this war is there. So this war is nothing but the war within us, the war in the world outside between us and the dealings by us, interactions with people. So that is the war every single day, in the kitchen, in the office, on the road, at work. So that is the Antarmadhana and Bahya Karanam. So all these. So through this, I have to make one disclaimer before I go further. So whatever good you are taking out of this is the Guru Balam, whatever I learned from Gurus. And Ashirvada of Gurugal, Samavedam Shanmukha Sharma, Swami Tattvavidananda, T.K. Raghavan, and Sister Garu, and so many others who taught me this. So I'm trying to share. And whatever is not good is my Garva Balam, okay? And that is your Karma Phalam, okay? So please, you have to edit whatever you think is not applicable to you, okay? So that, Tataha, so this mantra, stotra, begins with the word Tataha. So we also talked quite a bit when we started Bhagavad Gita, which starts with Dharma Kshetre, Kuru Kshetre, Samaveta, Dharma. So in the same way here, Ramayana starts with the word tapaha, tapaswadhyaya niratam. Sundarakanda starts with tataha, tato ravana netaya sitaya shatrukarshana. So tataha. Then Bhagavatam starts with Janma. Mahabharatam starts with Narayanam Namaskritya. So somebody nicely put this. So Bhagavatam Ja and Bharatam Na and Ramayanam Ta. So all these three are needed for Janata, Janata, for us. Somebody put it so nicely. But Tataha. So Tataha. So Tat Shabda is very Shubhavachaka. Now again, going back to our cow, Bhagavad Gita. So Om Tassaditi Nirdeshaha Brahmanas Trividha Smrutaha. 17th chapter. So verses 23, 24, 25. Yeah. So Tat Shabda. So Omkara, Tat and Sat have been explained so beautifully there. So Tat there. Tat iti anabhisandhaya tadit tadat tadityabhinasandhaya tadityanabhisandhaya phalam yajnata pakriyaha dana kriyascha vividhaha kriyante moksha kangshibihi. So by saying tat iti, yajna kriyas, dana kriyas, without looking for phala, these great people perform the actions, these auspicious actions. So tatta, when that God, you can only say G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer, God. But if you have to describe what you say, oh great, so great, Brahman, Bruhatvat Brahman. Or if you have to say, you don't know, it is he or she or it, you can say that, tat, tvam asi, that thou are. So thou are that. So thou, tat, tvam asi. So tat. So the Paramartha Shabda is there in this tato. Tataha becomes tato. Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam. So now Rama was tired. Rama was physically tired, mentally exhausted. And intellectually, he just forgot that entire divine power is within him itself. But this again is because of the enemy right in front. He is no less. Ravana was no less. So Ravana, Ravayati. So Ravana name is Ravayati. So Rama is Ramati. So that Rama, Ramati, Sarvani Bhutani, in all beings he revels. Sarvani Bhutani, Sarveshu Bhuteshu Ramati, Sarveshu Bhuteshu. In all beings he revels. All beings revel in him. Sarvani Bhutani Asmin Ramanti. So that is Rama Shabda. Then Ravana Ravayati. So that Ahankara, that Mada, that the 10-headedness. These are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, Ahankara, Mamakara, Raga, Dvesha. So all these 10 vices. We'll talk more about it. So this 10 vices is Ravana. So that enemy, in movies we see that enemy is equally powerful. Sometimes they are chosen, so the best of the characters are chosen. If you look at Sholay, so Amjad, more people have gone to see movie to see more Amjad Khan, the Gabbar Singh. And in fact, after listening to the script, Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, Sanjeev Kumar, they all wanted that role, it seems. But Ramesh Sippy said, no, I have actually chosen already a person for that. So sometimes that villain is also so powerful. So Ravana, Shiva Bhakta. Then Veda Paranga. Veda, he actually knew Vedas. He was the great grandson of Brahmaji. But he had these weaknesses. The weaknesses pulled him down. So that Rama and Ravana, I mean, if you see, so these days, these villains actually, they wear these Rudrakshas, South Indian movies. The villains also wear, like Sarkar and all, if you see the Godfathers and all wear. I recently saw a movie where a hero wears Om and the villain wears Rudraksha. My wife was looking at me and showing Rudraksha, that villain is wearing Rudraksha. But then I also said, I'm also wearing Om. So, which means to say that villain is within us, that Rama is within us. Rama, Ravana are within us. So that Rama, who is Parabrahma Tattva, is within us. With that Parabrahma Tattva Shakti, we have to defeat Ravana. And for that we need Guru. And the Guru comes here. So Guru will talk about it in the next verse. So tataha yuddha parishrantam samare, in the war field, chintaya sthitam. So sthitam, standing with chinta, with worry. So chinta is worry. When we come to worry, the entire Bhagavad Gita is what? Hakuna matata. Worry not, worry not, worry not. Ashocha nanvashochastum masucha, masucha, masucha. Twice it is said in 16th and then also at the end in the 18th chapter. Masucha, mate vyadha. So hakuna matata, worry not, worry not. Now the worry is there. So whenever there is worry, whenever there is fear, whenever there is fear, whenever there is doubt, now there comes Guru if we have the faith and Vishwasa. So Chitta and Chinta, Chitta and Chinta are almost similar sounding words. So Dvayo, so Tayor Madhye, so just with little bit of difference. Which is worse? Chinta eva gariyasi. Because Chitta, dahati nirjivam. So the fire burns us when we are gone, when we are dead. Whereas Chinta burns pranayutam vapuhu. When we are living, when we are alive, it burns us, Chinta. So that's why, so Chitta and Chinta are almost same, but Chinta is even worse. So Chintaya sthitam, Ravanam cha agrataha drustva. So right there, Ravana is standing. Just prior to that, Rama has sent back Ravana because Ravana was not holding the weapon. Such a dharmavan, such a vigrahavan dharmaha Rama. So, but now he was a little tired. And this tiredness is long-standing. When Sita was abducted, when the search was going on, so Hanuman went and came back. So all this and so much of loss in the war. So whenever there is war, there are two losses. The loser loses. Even the winner also loses, you see. We have seen that recently also. So that is the result of war. So he was worried. Ravanam cha agrataha drustva yuddhaya samupasthitam. And that Ravana is ready to fight now. So at that time, Rama was very much exhausted in the battle. While standing in the battlefield, he was filled with worry. Next one. Next one, please.
Daivataischa samagamya drashtumabhyagatoranam upagamya bravitramam Agastyo Bhagavan Rishihi. Daivataischa samagamya drashtumabhyagatoranam upagamya bravitramam Agastyo Bhagavan Rishihi. Agastyo Bhagavan Rishihi.
Now the war is going on, Rama Ravana Yuddha. It's Rama Ravana Yoriva. Now this opportunity won't come again. So all the gods have come to watch this. So it is a very classic picture, so whenever all this happens, the Gandharvas, the Devas, the angels, and all celestial people will be there, and then they're ready to pour all, the flowers, Pushpa Vrishti, when the hero actually, so wins. So now they all have come, but now they're all tense because it is like, the match point, you see the tennis to all. And then now the last one is going on. So there, the match point, then deuce, again deuce, again deuce. And then you see now Djokovic or Nadal is so tired. And now in tennis, the coach is not allowed to come. But let's say basketball, let's say Stephen Curry is so tired. Now he needed a 3-pointer shooter. See? So now the coach comes and talks. So here you're so tired. When you're physically tired, mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted, stressed out intellectually, and there comes the inadequacy in us. The power within us, the innate power is forgotten. And to remind that, to invoke that, to inspire us, the Guru comes. So Gu means that andhakara comes for some time. Gukaraha andhakaraha, rukaraha tan nirodhakaha. So andhakara nirodhitvat guru riti abhidhiyate. So the Guru comes on his own, on her own. And now here, sage Agastya, Devas didn't send him. Rama didn't ask for. He just felt that he was needed to go and then inspire Rama, invoke that innate power of Rama. And he came. Daivataischa samagamya. He came along with all gods there. Agamya, samagamya, daivataihi, along with all devatas. Drashtum, to watch that great, war. Abhi agataha, ranam drashtum, abhi agataha. Ranam is war, ranam, yuddham. Abhi agataha. So atiti, abhyagati. So atiti is the one who comes without atiti, without telling you. Abhyagati is, so abhyagata is they came because they were all invited for this war, because this is the war between dharma and adharma. Then upagamya. In some texts you see upagamya or upagamya. So agamya means coming towards you. Gamya means going towards distance. So upagamya means going nearer to Rama. Or upagamya, if you say coming nearer to Rama. Gamana, agamana, we say, yeah. So swagatam, we say, come, please come inside. So welcome. So upagamya, abravit, he said, he taught, he said this. What? Ramam, whom? Ramam. And what? We will see this. Who is that? Agastyaha. And who is he? Rishihi. Darshanat Rishi. The one who has the vision is Rishi. The visionary is Rishi. Darshanat Rishi. Mantra Drashta is Rishi. Mantra Drashta. Then Bhagavan. We talked about Bhagavan so much when we talked about Bhagavad Gita. So whoever has this Bhaga, the 6 qualities put together is called Bhaga. So what are those 6 qualities? Aishwaryasya samagrasya, samasta aishwaryam. Dharmasya, dharma. Yashaha, the fame. Shriyaha, the prosperity. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, dispassion. Aishwaryasya samagrasya, dharmasya yashashasriyaha, jnana vairagya yoschaiva, shanna bhaga itirina. So whoever has this bhaga is called Bhagavan. Whoever is called Dhana, Dhanavan. So that way. So whoever has, so Mike Wan, we can say. So like that, Dhanavan, Bhagavan. So then another meaning also Bhagavan. Utpatti pralayam chaiva, bhutanam agatim gatim, vettim vidyam avidyam cha savachyo Bhagavaniti. Whoever knows the creation, the secret of creation, and the secret of dissolution, and the one in between, Bhutanam Agatim Gatim, the coming and going of these beings, and Vidya and Avidya, the knowledge and ignorance. Whoever knows these 6 things, Savachyaha Bhagavaniti. So Agastya Mahamuni is not any less, not any less. Agastya, a great sage, a great engineer, a great teacher, a great philosopher, a great upasaka, and mantravetta, shastravetta. He is the one who stopped Vindhya Parvata growing. So Puranic story is, so Vindhya, so was growing too much, and then he stopped Vindhya growing. That means probably he actually did a lot of civilization around Vindhya Parvata. He actually he actually has taken the entire ocean as a sip into his mouth, like just one gulp like that. Look at Shiva Swamiji. So with one's palm, like a sip, he has taken the entire ocean. If you have to look at scientifically, he probably knew oceanology, you see, entire oceanology. He knew entire ocean, entire rahasya of ocean. And he also was taught Lalita Sahasranama by Hayagriva Swami. And he also killed Vatapi Rakshasa. His digestive power was so much that, Vatapi and Vilvala, these Rakshasas were there. So these brothers, they were so crooked. So one used to become a goat, and then this other one used to kill that goat in yajna, and then sacrifice, can't say kill, sacrifice that goat. And then he used to offer that food to all these people there in the forest. And then he used to ask, the Vilvala used to ask his brother, Vatapi, agacha. Then that Vatapi, so he used to again, gain his energy and then come out of the bellies of all these people. So Agastya, one day he wanted to teach a lesson. So he just ate that goat's meat. And then before this, Vilvala, I think his name, asked Vatapi agacha. He said, Vatapi jirnam. So Vatapi was digested a long time ago. Vatapi jirnam. So that's why actually it is nice to remember these great role models. Agastyam Kumbhakarnam cha, Shemencha Badabanalam, Ahara Pachanartham, Vrukodaram cha Smarayit. Smarami Vrukodaram. There are 5 people who can eat so well, it seems. I mean, if you can eat like that, but not only just eat, but also work, not like except Kumbhakarna, but Kumbhakarna also was no less. He wrote a lot of good things, Yuddha Shastra, it seems. But Agastya Maharshi, then Bhima, then Agni. Agni will never say enough. That's why you say Anala, Alamiti na. So Anala, Agni, and then Shani. So whatever the oil you put on Shani, so he just digests. So these are the digestive powers. Vaishwanara in them is so powerful. So Agastya Maharshi. Then one meaning of Agastya is, Aga means Parvata. So Parvata is Vindhya Parvata. So Parvata was growing, Stambhanam Krutam. So Agastya, so Agasya Stambhanam Krutam, Yena Agastya. So he stopped the growth of Aga. Aga means the one which doesn't go. No, Parvatas used to go, they used to have wings in the past, but Indra cut all those wings, and then so they became Agas. They don't go anywhere. Aga, Naga means Parvata. But his name was before also Agastya. So that means there is Antarartha in that. Agastya means Aga, the one which doesn't go anywhere is our Atma. So Atmasthaha. So Atmanishtaha, the one who is the steadfast, Sthita Prajna, is Agastya Maharshi. What a beautiful meaning, isn't it? So then in Tamil, Agati, Akatti, so that means light. He's full of light. Then another meaning is Gastam means Papam. So any deficiency is not there, na Gasti. So Agasti. So, but you can remember 2-3 meanings at least. One who stopped the growth of Vindhya Parvata, Agastya Maharshi. And the one who is Atmanishta, Atmasthaha is Agastya. Such Bhagavan, Rishi has come to teach Rama. And Rama accepted Agastya Maharshi as his teacher when he came out of Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, it was Vasistha Maharshi. And after Ayodhya, it is Agastya Maharshi. And Agastya Maharshi also had so many weapons to protect people in the forest. So he had Vishnu Dhanu and all. He actually gave them to Rama for this purpose. So now next one, third one, please.
Rama Rama Mahabaho.
Rama Rama Mahabaho.
Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam.
Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam.
Yena Sarvan Nareen Vatsa.
Yena Sarvan Nareen Vatsa.
Samare Vijayishyasi.
Samare Vijayishyasi.
Rama Rama Mahabaho.
Rama Rama Mahabaho.
Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam.
Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam.
Yena Sarvan Nareen Vatsa.
Yena Sarvan Nareen Vatsa.
Samare Vijayishyasi.
Samare Vijayishyasi.
Sarvan Areen. So if you have to stop, stop after Sarvan. So Sarvan Areen. So Rama Rama Mahabaho Shrunaguhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvan Areen Vatsa Samare Vijayishyasi. So now Agastya Maharshi is doing Sambodhana. He's actually doing this Bodha, Prabodhana to Rama. And he is saying, Rama, hey Rama. So he's saying twice. You see, when you have so much of love, let us say, Ravi, hey Ravi, hey Ravi. So we say that. Hey Adi, Adi, we say that, you see. So Rama, Rama. We knew this. Punah punaha, muhur muhuhu. When you have so much of happiness, eagerness, inquisitiveness to teach, and enthusiasm to teach, enthusiasm to say, and express. So this expression, vismayecha vishadecha, dainyecha avadharane, tatha prasadane, harshe, vakyamekam viruchyate. Vismaye, in wonderment. In wonderment, look at, the Niagara. Oh, look at, so. Or, when you see Taj Mahal, look at this Taj Mahal, look at this Taj Mahal. So, Vismaye, Vishade, Vishade. So, same thing, saying it again and again. So, Vishade. So, when despondent. Dainye, in a pitiable situation. When you're crying, you repeat. Avadharane, if you have to expect or ask someone to remember it. So to reiterate, to reinstate, you say it twice, Rama Rama. Then Tatha Prasadane, in benediction. Harshe, so when somebody is so joyful. Vakyamekam viruchyate. So rightfully, so a word is said twice, Rama Rama. And Rama, we knew the meaning. Rama. Rama is Ra from Om Namo Narayanaya. Ma from Om Namah Shivaya. So that great mantra is Rama. Rama is Ra plus A plus Ma. Ra is Agni Bijam. A is Surya Bijam. Ma is Chandra Bijam. So Rama, Hey Rama, Hey Rama. Vatsa, Vatsa, O Putra, oh my dear son. So there are teachers who are like fathers. Fathers-in-law, elder brother, teacher and guru, they all are, and king. So they all are like fathers. So Vatsa is such a beautiful, beautiful word that it can only be used between a child and a mother, a son and a father. Tata, nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Tata means O Putra, O Vatsa. Tata, Putra, Vatsa. So these are the three names which the gurus, teachers, fathers use. O Vatsa, O Rama Rama, O Mahabaho. Mahabaho, So again, so Vyasa Maharshi was influenced by this word. You see, Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Justam Asvargyam Kirtikaram Arjuna Klaibyam Asmagama Partha Naitatvai Upapadyate Kshudram Hrudaya Darbalyam Tvakto Tista Parantapa. And then Mahabaho. So Mahabaho in third chapter. So Indriyani Hayanyahu Indriyebhya Paramanaha Manasastu Parabuddhi Yo Buddhe Paratastu Saha Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva Jahishatrum Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasada. So Mahabaho, oh mighty armed, oh mighty armed. Oh Bahubali, you are now reminding his innate power. So Mahabaho, Shrunu, Suno, listen. Guhyam, the secret. The secret is something which is taught when the seeker is in need of it, and seeker really wants to know, and the revered teacher says this selflessly for the welfare of that particular person and also for the good of the world, for the good of the world. So that is Guhyam, Guhyam, Guhyat, Guhyataram, Guhyam. So this secret, Shunu, Sanatanam, which is eternal. Eternal means not Puratanam. Pura api nava iti. So even though it is ancient, even though it is ancient, it is never aging, never age. Ever aging but never old. Ever aging but never old. As Swami Ranganathananda says, Sanatanam is ever aging but never old. So that, oh, listen, oh, Rama Rama, oh, Mahabaho, oh, Vatsa, listen. And by this, Yena, Sarvan Arena, all Shatrus, we'll talk about this Sarva Shatru tomorrow, all Shatrus, Samare, Samaram is Yuddha, Rane, Yuddhe, Samare, Vijayishyasi, you conquer. So, O Rama, oh my dear son, oh mighty armed warrior, listen, my dear, listen to this secret mantra. I shall initiate you into this eternal secret mantra, an encomium. Encomium is mantra, by which you will conquer all the enemies in the battle. So it is 8:36. I think we shall stop here today. And we have done 4. The aim was to do at least 6. But today was the introduction to talk about the teacher, the taught, and Shastra, the mantra, and the background. So tomorrow we will get into the mantras right away.
Dr. Ji, do we have time to repeat the 3 that we have learned today?
Yes, that's what we will do. And then we will do Purnamada, Purnamidam, and then leave some time for questions, for about 10 minutes or so.
Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam Ravanam jagrato drushtva yuddhaya samupasthitam Daivataischa samagamya drashtumabhyagato ranam Upagamya bravidramam agastyo bhagavan rishihi Rama Rama Mahabaho Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvan Narin Vatsa Samare Vijayishyasi.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om we can stop recording, and you can ask any question, and you can compliment.
Guruji, I had a quick question. You said yes. A is Surya.